to Advent of Code 2022. I'm Mark Gritter. I will be doing Advent of Code problems live in Liquid Haskell, or Haskell. I was going to look up how to pronounce the language before I started the stream, and I forgot. So Liquid Haskell is a augments normal Haskell with refinement types. So I did day one of last year as a warm-up problem. You can see my solution here. We read a bunch of integers from a file. For part one, we just map over that, checking alternate pairs to see which is larger. I didn't write a type for that. For part two, we need to do a window over the inputs, a 3-element window, and compare that window instead of the individual elements. And so, I wrote a function that did that, and I wrote a type for it that says, as long as the input has length at least 2, then the output, which is y, will have length that's 2 shorter. And Liquid Haskell could verify that. I did have to teach it what the something about the zip with 3 function for that to work. The Liquid Haskell comes with a bunch of specifications for standard library functions, for prelude functions, but not for this one. So I had to write one, and this basically just says the length of the output is the minimum of the length of all the inputs in 3 different cases, depending on which is the minimum. So we're just a few minutes from the start of Advent of Code. About 3 minutes to go. So last year, I solved Advent of Code problems in a dependently typed language, and language with refinement types, called F star. And F star is sort of ML-like. And it's got a very powerful language for what you can say in refinements, but that means it's sometimes hard to get it right. Both F star and Liquid Haskell use an S3 solver, an SMT solver called Z3 in the backend to help verify the assertions. You don't have to prove them yourselves, you just have to give them to the verifier. But I am told that Liquid Haskell is easier to work with because the language of these types is more restrictive. So we'll find out. I'm really not very familiar with it. I haven't even finished the tutorial. I did use Haskell back in 2018 to try to solve Advent of Code problems, and I did not finish that year. So this will be a challenge. I'm not really all that comfortable with Haskell yet. I don't know what's in the standard libraries. I have used the parser combinator library in the past. But I hope I don't have to use that today because I have not looked into it. I used a little bit in doing a Haskell tutorial called Build Yourself a Scheme in 48 Hours. That is available on Wikibooks. Nope, not F star. I'm using Liquid Haskell, which is also a dependently typed programming language, but that is reputed to be a little easier to use. So I'll find out. I thought about different sorts of stunt programming I could do. I thought about using a different language every day of Advent, everything from sort of 6502 assembly to language of my own devising called Soffit to, of course, F star, but I didn't have time to set up all the different environments I would need for that. And I also thought about writing my own domain specific language for solving advent of code problems. And I certainly did not have enough time, uh, prep time to do that. I was kind of tempted to develop it on screen while also solving the problem, but that's a lot of work. So Liquid Haskell it is. Yeah, if somebody can tell me how to pronounce the name of the language consistently, I'll be grateful. All right, here we go. Collect stars. Okay. Number of calories each elf is carrying, your puzzle input. All right, so we need to separate this input. So I'll just save I'll save the input as a text file for working on. Oops. Oh, this is 21. All right, here's our 2022. Save that. All right. So we need to split our lines into lists of lists. All right. Sure. All right. So we can do this as a fold. I'm on a right fold. I'm gonna want it. All right. So okay. So we want to and start at the type. It's Emacs is showing me the type of folder at the bottom. I tried to get FlyMake going, and it didn't work with Liquid Haskell, and I'm not sure why. So I might try that again later. All right. Hi, Gene. Gene was sharing, Gene Yang, my CEO at Akita Software, was sharing with me some research papers she co-authored on using Liquid Haskell to infer very complicated properties, which I have not had a chance to read yet. All right, what I want is to start out with an empty list of lists. All right, so add to list. So if this is going to take All right. So if it's a blank line, then we want to add, we want to start the next group. And if it's not blank, then we want to take all right, we want to take x, which should be an integer. Maybe we can ensure that it's an integer later. We want to stick it item. All right, we want to read that line, convert it to an integer, and then stick it onto the list we are currently building. Feels like there's probably a better way to do this, but we'll append it at the end, which may be expensive, but all right. So we modify the first item. All right, let's try this out. Oops, where am I? Stack REPL to day one. Nope, didn't compile. Did I get the types, get the lines backwards? I did. Sorry. You can tell I'm not a Haskell expert because this would just be second nature. Fold. Okay, I did want right. That seems right. Match. All right. I need to figure out the right function. Oh. Thinks you're reading ints. Well, but I need to find the right function. It's telling me. All right, I did this in the scheme tutorial. all one big file. Parse number. Oh, just read. Oops. There's got to be a better way to reload. I can Oh, okay. It's all right. Takes a function from it should be a function from. All right, yeah, that's wrong. I want So B has to be the list. Okay, so B is my list. Insert that folds. All right, there we go. All right, bunch of warnings. That's fine. All right. So does this do what I expect it to do? So if we get parse input of 100, 200. All right. Reverse the order. Yeah, I should have done. All right, good. So what is the function that converts the so instead of the words we want lines. That splits up the file into different lines. And all right, so we want to find the one with the maximum sum. So go from, all right, so we can map sum over the elves. And is there maximum? There should be. Oh, max. All right. I've been meaning to do build. What's the command that automatically rebuilds file watch. It's gonna rebuild day one. All right. Match expect. Wow, not off to a good start here. All right, so map some. Oh, okay. The function I want is maximum, not max. Max takes 2 pairs. All right. Takes 2 arguments. Maximum. All right. Could we write a type for this? Hmm. It seems complicated. I mean, what I'd like to say is that the output is equal to the sum of one of the inputs. Uh, hmm. All right. So we should just be able to do print. All right, let's try it out. So stack run with 2022 day one. It did. Oh. Yeah. Got this working for day one. What did I do for the example? What did I do wrong? Oh, I think I didn't. I think I'm confused about. No. It says it's all right. Am I at least building the right file? All right, good. All right, I'm very confused. about how I tell it which of the two programs to run. Uh, like that. All right. I have to give it the name of the executable rather than the path to the file. All right. So, does that agree with what? Yes. All right. So let's get the real input, which is much larger. Save that. Let's see if we got our first star. All right, 71124. I'm really impressed that the Advent of Code folks are able to create lots of distinct puzzles. All right, that's the right answer. All right, so we would like the top 3. So if I knew how to sort, we could just sort and take the top 3. I Thank you. Uh, I did write a sort in the Liquid Haskell tutorial, so I can copy one of those over. What do you want? The sum of the top 3. Okay. So, I mean, if it was Python or Go, we'd just use the standard sort, because I'm sure Haskell has to have a sort. Yes. Called. Oh, that's package sort. I don't. All right. All right. Let's try doing the obvious thing. All right. So I think this will be a case where Liquid Haskell will complain because we're gonna do something. So we're gonna. So we're going to just do. We could take the first 3, I guess. Okay, no, the sort order is backwards. How do I specify that you should sort in the other direction? Sort by. So can I just sort by greater? Is that a thing that will work? Article not in scope. Sort by. Okay. Do I need to add this as a package? Like, all right, I'm so confused whenever I look at the Haskell documentation. Like, what do I need to? What do I need to do to get this? Do I need to add this to my packages? I can't believe I'm editing YAML to write in a functional programming language. Okay, all right. So what is ordering? Oh, crap. All right. Ordering is a data type less than equal greater than. All right. Yeah, because so there's got to be a way to wrap. Wow. All right. I have no clue what I'm doing here. All right. Comparing? No. All right. No, I don't want to implement merge sort. Uh, flip compare. All right. How do I use compare? Ordering. Value. This is ridiculous. Why should I have to write my own comparison function to compare things in reverse order? The down type lets its reverse sort order conveniently. Value of type down compares the value of type A represented as down A. If A has an OR instance associated with, then comparing two values thus wrapped give you the opposite of the normal sort order, which is what I want. As in sort. Flip. Oh, all right. That swaps the two arguments around. All right. Sort by. It's gonna be real long, but all right. So I was expecting it to complain about the index here, because until I put in the guard, it was complaining about this one. So why? Says, aha, all right. If we started using it, now it complains. All right, so what it's saying here is, um, you gave me a type that's an integer, and it happens to be an integer equal to 0 because it is 0. And what I need in order to access the array index safely is an integer that's guaranteed to be between 0 and the length of the top. So if the length of the top is 0, then nothing would work. And so the way to satisfy this is by putting in a check, or by guaranteeing that the list is at least the right length and that sort by doesn't change the length. So let's do that. So I'm gonna go back to my worked example. Yeah, I got the triglyph backwards. So the liquid Haskell type assertions are put in this syntax. So we're going to say largest three sums goes from a list a list of integers such that the length of x is at least 3. And then it returns So I think we haven't told it about sort by yet. I think that's the next thing we're gonna have to do. Yeah, it still doesn't know. All right. So what we're gonna do is put in an assume. We could write our own sort by that had this property, but we're just going to tell it what this standard library does. So we're going to need to copy the all right. So given a list X, then the output length a list of A's called Y such that the length of Y equals 1 equals the length of X. So we're giving that as an axiom. Says just assume that's how sort by behaves, that it returns an output equal to its length. So some of the things like map, the liquid Haskell already includes, so we shouldn't have to tell it about that. I didn't save. All right, great. So it got rid of the errors. It can now tell that all these are fine, except that we didn't, it doesn't know that the input length is the right size. So all we have to do for that is check it. So if and it knows the difference between the length function in Haskell and this len, which is a measure in liquid Haskell. Confusingly, or maybe not confusingly, they don't have the same names, but this is a, a restricted sort of function. You can boost Haskell functions to be measures, but they have to be a restricted format, which I don't think I'm going to have to do today. All right, so if length else is at least 3, then that, else print not put. All right, and all right. You need to give it the thing that we actually checked. I mean, they should be equal, but oh, all right. So let's try it out on the example. So that says 4,500. Yep. Let's try it out on the real version. All right. Hurrah. Hey, they have Mastodon integration. Yeah. So yeah, this is fairly typical for starting with a new programming language. Uh, but we got done in under an hour, so that's a win. uh, as time goes by, I think my rank will improve unless I get completely stuck. But that's fairly typical. Alrighty. Well, that's it for the today's stream. I thought about playing my favorite word game on stream just because it's Twitch, but I will call it a night. I think I'm happy that we actually got some liquid Haskell proof going here. Um, I mean, we could prove that. Not sure how we would prove that the maximum really is the maximum. Uh, it seems like that should be feasible, but I would probably have to work at it. So I'm not gonna do that. All right. Let me pull up thanks for playing along. I will be posting this to my GitHub repo, uh, so you can follow along there. And good night.